All right.
Okay, Trey McBride, Lawrence, who is ostensibly the wide receiver 2 after Brock Bowers. How optimistic are you that he can build on his excellent year last year?
I think a lot when you consider he led all tight ends in targets inside the 5-yard line, led all tight ends in targets inside the 10, and was second amongst tight ends in red zone targets. But he only had 2 touchdowns, so he's got nowhere to go but up when it comes to that department. He sat here on our show 2 years ago and predicted his numbers. He came through not only for himself and for his team, but for us fantasy folks. So Trey McBride, get more than 2 touchdowns next year. You're the tight end 1 in fantasy.
9 end zone targets. The Cardinals were only able to convert 1 of them. He was tackled inside the 5-yard line 5 different times for Trey McBride, and yet still finished as tight end 2. Only 2 touchdowns, Lawrence, to your point. Now, I know you're wondering, Matthew, why are you getting up? I'm going to tell you something why. Because Trey McBride, follow me here.
Watch your steps,
Follow
Matthew.
me here. I'm good. Don't worry about me.
It's a big fall.
We will use it on social.
Fine. Can you follow me up here? Can you see me up here? This is we got number 85, Trey McBride. You have to be a fantasy superstar or a Jet to make it on this wall. And so we update it all the time. I don't know if you guys can see, but we've got some new additions. George Kittle here, McBride is one of them, McConkey over there as well, and it is all thanks to our friends at Fanatics. You know, this all comes here from Fanatics. We love Fanatics. They were like, they're fans of the show, and they said, "Can we help you out with the wall?" And we said, "We love it." 100%. So they've been great partners and friends to us in terms of doing all this. You know, you guys know Fanatics, right? That's where you get you get your jerseys and your memorabilia and everything. So great company. I've spent a lot of money with them for my kids, and we couldn't be more appreciative of all the jerseys that we got thanks to Fanatics. I don't know but I feel like we need to figure out some of this. I don't know if Marvin Harrison Jr. needs to be ahead of A.J. Brown or CeeDee Lamb. Like I feel
what
like
about Barry 29?
What's his number? What his numbers looking like?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Does Barry belong next to George Kittle?
Unlike
and Justin
McLaurin,
Jefferson?
I'm in camp, so at least we got that. I don't know.
Baker Mayfield's on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, what's Breece Hall doing down there? I don't know.
Breece Hall's a little suspect.
And we got New School. We got Travis Hunter. This is too low for Jalen Waddle. C.J. Stroud can be down there. That's fine. All right. But Jamar Chase, Jaden Daniels isn't moving from that spot. Let's just be clear about that.
Right on cue after that comment from Stuntman Chuck 85. Yeah. Question for Jay Lawrence. Is this the year to get off the Berry bandwagon before it breaks down for good? Or is he aging like James Conner and Derrick Henry, and we should stop asking, is this it? Yeah, Matthew Berry's some big Todd Gurley potential.
You gotta make that trade. You know, in your dynasty leagues, get off of Matthew Berry, get on a young stud like Lawrence Jackson Jr., Jay Croucher, Connor Rogers.
Yeah.
He had a great season last year. They tried to write him off last year, but this might be the year, Stuntman Chuck.
This
might be the year.
Is this my Trent Richardson year?
He was only like 23.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
Is it?
The end comes quickly.
Yeah, there you go. I'm the Frank Gore of fantasy football. There you go.
Like Raheem Mostert. Remember, he had 20-some touchdowns. Then next year, it's just like, damn, what happened?
Jamal Williams, same thing, had 18 touchdowns, and then like.
This segues us nicely into
that's it. By the way, that's
that's your fantasy value. That's your value. You know, we get you to the goal line. They say, hey, we scored a touchdown. Here come Barry running in, gets the goal line touchdown, and does dance.
2025 Nick Chubb.
It might be. Have you seen the commercial where it's like, you know, it's like Emmitt Smith and Randy Moss and Dan Marino and currently that's me. That's me. Just kind of like, but anyway, by the way, that's the question of the year so far.
That's a good one.
Well done.
Yes.
The Joe Flacco of fantasy.
The Joe Flacco fan. He gonna get you volume. He gonna get you the volume.
From Michael Azar.
You might get sacked a lot though.
Michael Azar, I think you mean comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco of fantasy. Don't forget that.
It's true.
Don't
he did
forget
win
that
award. Anyway, The Stuntman's question leads nicely into David Njoku, because I think the moment you jumped the shark is when you dressed like David Njoku walking into NBC headquarters.
I had jumped the shark 15 years before that.
When you're doing your vaunted leather daddy routine,
yes.
Which poisoned minds across America. But David Njoku is going to get a lot of targets, Matthew.
My daughters were very, for some reason, my daughters almost never watch the show. I have twin 13-year-old daughters. They almost never watch the show, but for some reason they tuned in that day.
The leather daddy episode.
The leather daddy episode. And because it was a Sunday morning. It was a Sunday morning, and so my kids were home, and so my wife turned on the show while they were like getting ready to go do whatever they were going to do. And then we said, you called me a leather daddy for like 20 straight times, and apparently scarred my daughters, and my wife is like literally texting me while I'm on air, like, stop, tell them to stop calling you leather daddy. In case you want to know what's going on in my household.
I'll never stop that.
Yeah.
I'll never stop calling your husband leather daddy. But the original leather daddy, David Njoku.
Yeah.
It was Tobias Funke, then David Njoku, then Matthew Berry.
And I'll tell you, certainly David Njoku scores a lot more than Tobias certainly does. That's a deep cut right there. But last year, no tight end had more end zone targets than David Njoku. In fact, last year, David Njoku targeted on 25.7% of his routes. That's the 6th highest rate at the position. 2023 Comeback Player of the Year, Joe Flacco started 5 games for the Cleveland Browns, en route to winning that award, rightfully so.
5 games.
In those 5 games that Joe Flacco started in 2023, David Njoku had a 22.5% target share. He averaged 18.2 fantasy points per game. Last year, 18.2 fantasy points per game would have been tight end 1 by over 3 points. David Njoku is currently going as tight end 8 outside the top 90 overall, and there he is. There's the leather daddy himself with his buddy, Joe Flacco. Yes. Joe Flacco's driving him around. They're vibing in and around Cleveland in an ATV, talking about all the fantasy points they're going to put up together.
And it's important that you brought up those 5 games that he started in 2023, because that sounds about right for what it's going to be this year for Joe Flacco. He's going to get them 5 games in with David Njoku, and then, we'll see what else is going on at quarterback. But last year, only 11 games, 64 catches over 500 yards.
But you know what? When you think about who else they have in the red zone, like who are you talking in the red zone? Like, Jerry Jeudy? Like, we like Cedric Tillman, but like he's going to be the main red zone threat. I'm not convinced they're going to be able to run. We'll see how the running game plays out. Judkins still hasn't shown up. Dylan Sampson's and Jerome Ford are going to carry the load right there. But I think it's the same point as that you've made with the Indianapolis Colts. Joe Flacco is going to be the starter until somebody in practice is better than him. They're not going to stick Shadur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel or Kenny Pickett out there unless they're an improvement over Joe Flacco and can move the ball. So I think I think the Cleveland offense is not going to be great, but it's going to be a lot better it's going to be competent. It's not going to be this disaster that everyone thinks he is. Kevin Stefanski is a 2-time Coach of the Year. Not everyone knows that. He's a 2-time Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.